Hello everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here, my name is Natalia, and today I bring to you a very exciting video. So I've seen this video going around. I don't know if like anyone started it somewhere. I have no idea. But basically what this is going to be is a starter kit. And I don't mean necessarily that these are all 100% like affordable products. 95% of them will be all drugstore, and there's like a couple that are not drugstore. But the whole point of this video is to kind of show you products that you would need if this is your first time using makeup, or you're trying to buy makeup for someone that's barely starting out. These are very easy products, not very finicky. Now I do have dry skin, so most of these products are going to be of course for dry skin, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I pulled quite a few options for each category, and we're going to go ahead and put them on together and kind of show you what they look like as they go on. I was also thinking about making maybe some videos of like a full face of just $5 products, a full face of just $10 products, and so on. Let me know if you guys would be interested in a video like that, because I do have a lot of products that are very affordable, and I can definitely come up with videos like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this video. So all I've done is wash my face. I don't have any moisturizer, anything else on it, because I wanted to show you guys what my face looks like before I apply anything on. Alright, so I have my coffee here ready to go in case, you know, our energy starts to go down. Francisca just bought me this travel mug from Rtic, I think it's called. How pretty is this color? Beautiful, right? They actually have very affordable travel mugs. If you guys have been looking for new ones, they have very affordable ones, because I guess their whole thing is that they'll give you quality without the high prices. I mean, it's my first one, so we'll see how those work out. I'm gonna go ahead and pin my hair back. All these products that I mentioned also will be linked in the description box below. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about primers. So primers, I feel like it's a very controversial kind of product, because I feel like not everyone believes that you need a primer, and I'm definitely one of those people that I don't feel like you have to have a primer in order for your makeup to look good. I feel like it's really about how you take care of your skin, so the moisturizer you use, the cleansers you use, and all that, and of course the foundation you're going to use on top of that. But I do like to use primer from time to time depending on the foundation I'm using. My favorite primers to use are more like illuminating, hydrating type of primer, so that's typically what I'll go for, but I do have other ones that I can recommend. For hydration, pure hydration, I like this Good Molecule silicone free priming moisturizer. It's formulated with shea butter, macadamia seed oil, and plant derived silicone alternatives to deeply hydrate, smooth, and nourish the skin. So this is going to give you like a nice canvas of hydration. It's not going to make your makeup last any longer. Then for mattifying, I have the Smashbox Control Mattifying Primer. It is more on the pricier side, but you can always get them like on sale. Smashbox is always running some type of sale, so don't pay full price for them. But this, usually I'll apply it like on my nose or my T-zone, which I get a little bit oily. For just like an all-around really nice primer, this is the Milani SPF 30 SPF BFF primer. This is the one that I'm going to be using today. So basically it's a lightweight lotion texture with a natural finish. It's enhanced with vitamin E and glycerin. So it's supposed to smooth the skin. It's for all skin tones, and it's supposed to extend your makeup wear. This is one that I really like taking when I go traveling, because it's like an all-around primer. So it's gonna make my makeup look nice. It gives me a little bit of glow. It does have an SPF of 30. I'm almost done of this one, which is kind of shocking. So we're gonna go about that much and start applying it. And it doesn't really have much of a scent. Kind of just smells like a standard moisturizer. Alright, so this is what it looks like once it's on the skin. Do you guys see how like healthy and glowy and dewy it looks on the skin? If you guys have used the Super Goop, what is it called? The Glow, oh my, I can't remember the name one, but the Glow SPF, that one sometimes could be a little bit too glowy for me, so that's why I like this one a little bit more than that one. So now we're gonna go ahead and let this kind of settle into the skin. I like to do my eyes first, because you never know if you're gonna have some fallout or whatever, and I hate having to clean that up. When you do your eyes, you have two options. You can either do an eye primer, which I don't do a lot of the time, Hello. Sorry about that. That was my parents. Alright, so like I was saying is the primer that I like to use for my eyes is this one from Ulta. And this is going to be their matte nude primer. One thing that I really do appreciate about this eye primer is that it adds a little bit of pigment to your lids, but it doesn't make it white. I've used the Juvia's eye primer and the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, and they're both extremely pigmented, whereas this one, because it's more subtle of a pigment, it looks very pretty on the lid. Of course, it's going to depend on your skin tone. I don't think they have different tones, they just have this one, I believe. Hopefully they'll come out with more, but as you guys can see, it does have a little bit of pigment, and I feel like it does help with the makeup as well, like the eyeshadow to last a little bit longer. Now if you don't want to deal with the primer, you can go ahead and use your concealer that you're going to use on your face, on your lids, and that's perfectly fine. And for the concealers, honestly, I have quite a few different ones that I could recommend from the drugstore or just in general. I pulled 4 different ones just because I feel like these are the ones that are the most affordable, but also the best ones that I've tried throughout in my collection. So the first one I have is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer. Now I do have this one in a shade that's a little bit too deep for me, so I haven't been using it as much. This is in Light 60N, but this is a really good concealer. It has hyaluronic acid in it, so it does give you a little bit of hydration. It does give you coverage, but it's not going to be like a full coverage, but it's really nice coverage. So this is one that I would highly recommend. Then we have the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have mine in the shade Light Sand. This is a really nice concealer. They also have it in the regular camo, which is not hydrating, so it depends on your skin which one you will gravitate towards. I like this one because I do have dry skin, like I said, and this one gives you, I would say, medium to high coverage, and it is a little bit thicker though, which is why I don't use it very often, because sometimes it could settle a little bit too much on my under eye eyes, on my under eye lines, which honestly will happen with most of the concealers that I use. Sometimes I'll just go in and just tap it out and it's not that big of a deal. Then we have the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. I like this one a little bit more than the camo. This one does have a brush on the tip, and it is a clicker type of concealer. So basically what you do is you just click it and it starts to come out through the front, and it's just a really pretty underrated concealer. I feel like I don't hear anybody really talk about this one, but it gives you really nice coverage, and I actually really like this concealer. And then we have the Wet n Wild Mega Last Incognito Concealer, and I have mine in the shade Light Beige. It is more of a light coverage concealer, but what I like about this concealer is that it's a very light formula, so it's very thin. It's not going to look too cakey on your under eyes, and it's very medium. Like, it's not going to give you a lot of hydration, but it's also not matte. It's kind of like a satin concealer. I think for today's video I'm going to use the e.l.f. concealer just because I haven't used it on camera, I don't think, and like I said, it's not one that people talk about very much. And this is what we're going to use today as a primer, just to kind of show you that you don't need eye primer, especially if you're trying to be minimal. So that's typically, oops, I clicked it, about how much I'll use. And then also for brushes, you can find so many good brushes at drugstore prices. Some of my favorites are from e.l.f. Cosmetics. Real Techniques makes really good brushes. Equal Tools makes really good brushes. Some of the Wet n Wild brushes are really good. Profusion makes really good brushes. This one here is from Real Techniques, and it's the domed shadow brush. I'm gonna use this one just to blend out the concealer on my lid. See how that just added a little bit of pigment, nothing crazy, but it evened out the lid kind of compared to this one. As you guys can see, I have a lot of darkness. So Essence makes really good eye products, and I've been really enjoying some of their palettes. They do have some that are kind of like colored themes. Here I only have 4, so it just really depends. If you have more of a tone that you're looking for, you can always buy some of these. These retail for $3.99. Of course, if you guys have been watching my channel, you guys will know that I love Colourpop. Colourpop makes amazing starter palettes. I buy a ton of their palettes and I love them all. They have some that are more color themed. They have some that are more neutral, like this one here. It's a taupe It's taupe palette. This is beautiful, especially for somebody that's starting out, because you get like all the shimmers you need, some mattes, some deeper tones, and this is going to be a really nice palette. Elf makes also their bite-sized palettes, and I have quite a few of them right here. They have this one here, which is more of like a pinky tone. They have an all matte one, they have a green one, and they have more like neutral shades, so you can really look and kind of mix match. These are amazing. These are also very affordable. They're going to be like $3.99 or something like that. So the palette that I would say is the perfect palette to start a collection, just somebody that, you know, is new to makeup, would be this one from Elf. And this is the new classic palette. This is going to give you basically anything you need. It comes with like very neutral shades. It comes with some cool tones, some pinks. It has like a nice black. I think it retails for like $10. This is the one I'm using today. All right, so for blending shades, you actually have quite a few options. You have like a warm tone, a cool tone, a rosy tone, so you can actually play with different ones. I think because I'm wearing green, I'm gonna go more with the cool tone, which is Uptown, this shade right here, and I'm gonna take it on a fluffy blending brush. See how I added like really nice color? It blended out really pretty. I didn't even set my lid after I did the concealer, and I have zero patchiness. We're gonna keep this look pretty simple. I'm gonna take this next shade right here, which is Earth. This is really pretty brown, and then just put that on the outer corner, and then just kind of going in, you know, very lightly, just depositing some of the color first, and then with whatever's left, I'm gonna lightly blend it into the crease. And I always try to grab my brush like very far back, just because I feel like that's gonna give me a little bit of a softer application. And then I want to take one of these green ones. There's 3 different greens right here, all 3 of these, and I think I'm gonna go in with Gilded, which is this one right here on my finger, and then just apply it to my lid. This weekend we watched actually quite a few movies. We watched Lasting Alive with Gerard Butler, can never say his name, and then we watched Hustle with Adam Sandler, and man, those 2 movies were actually really good, and I haven't heard anyone talking about them. The Lasting Alive was more like suspense, but it kind of gave me like Taken vibes, if you guys have seen that one. And then the Hustle one was about a basketball recruiter, I guess you can call him, I forget his name, or his title, and basically he goes on to find someone, and he finds his kid, and he kind of trains him and kind of, you know, makes him so that he can hopefully play professionally in the NBA. And it's just really cool, and I actually thought it was based on a real story, but then I looked it up and it wasn't. It also had like some drama and a bunch of other stuff, but it was like a really nice movie. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen either one of those, I would recommend them. They're really good movies. And then I'm gonna take some of this Platinum shade. Alright, so there we go with those shades. And one of the things that I love doing with my eye looks is adding a little bit of a darker shadow to the lash line. I feel like that adds a little bit of, you know, contrast on the eyes, and it gives the lashes an illusion of them being like darker. But I don't always want to do like a full-on eyeliner, so typically what I'll do is I'll just choose the darkest shade in the palette. So on this one, I would either do this one that has a little bit of shimmer, but once you dip it in, you tap it out, the shimmers come out. Or you could do this one here, you can do this one here, but I think I want to take just a straight black one, which is Noir, and then I lightly load my brush. And typically I like to use a brush like this one, or like a straight liner brush, but see how this one's like very thin and it has like a little bit of a dome, and I'll just start pressing it into the lash line. And I'll do like about 2/3 of my eye. But that's typically as far as I'll go. So see how when you're looking at my eyes, this one has a little bit more definition. We're gonna go ahead and stop with the eyes for now. And we're gonna go ahead and move on to the foundation. I'm gonna start with the most expensive one. This is the Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow All-in-One Tinted Moisturizer. This is gonna be a really good option for someone that's more in a hurry or just doesn't want to bother with a ton of products, because like I said, it's an all-in-one tinted moisturizer. So this is supposed to be an ultra light tinted moisturizer. It's infused with a primer, so it'll last all day. It primes, moisturizes, perfects, and protects all in one step. You don't need to have like the perfect shade. I use the light neutral one, and this one works really well. You can apply it with a sponge, you can do it with your fingers. Those are my two favorite ways to doing it. Then we have this one, which is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Longwear Foundation and Anti-Pollution, and this is a really nice foundation. If you guys haven't heard me talking about it before, I have it in the shade 20N. They have a ton of different shades. This one is very natural finish, like it's not too dewy, it's not too matte, and it just gives you a very nice finish to the skin. It does have a pump, and I think it retails for like $20. So for Sephora, this is a really good price, and it does come in a little glass bottle. This is just an all-around good foundation. It's not going to be a tinted moisturizer, it's an actual foundation. The one I'll be using today is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, and I have it in the shade a light medium. And this is a really good affordable tinted moisturizer, and this one has like a light medium kind of coverage, so it's not going to cover everything, but it's going to kind of even out your skin tone with a little bit of extra coverage. And these two will be really good also for traveling, because they are in like their little squeezy tube versus this one that it's in a glass bottle. To apply it, I'm going to use my favorite sponge. If you guys haven't heard me talking about them, these are the Shop Miss A sponges. They're the AOA. You can now buy them on Amazon. It's like a 6-pack, I think it is, for $10. I'm gonna go ahead and just squeeze it right onto my skin. And this one actually wears really nicely throughout the day too. Like I've worn it on days that it's gonna be really hot, and it just wears really nicely. Like it wears down nicely. Like as the day goes on, you're not gonna see it get like patchy or kind of separated or anything like too weird. I've used it with different types of primers. I've used it with no primer. It doesn't give you full coverage. Like if I really look up close, I can see my imperfections popping through, but it's nothing that it's gonna stand out too much. I feel like it just looks really pretty and healthy on the skin. And you guys saw I didn't need too much. You can always add more for a second layer. And then on top of that, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the e.l.f. what is it called again? The Flawless Brightening Concealer. And I feel like these two work perfect together because they're both very lightweight. I'm gonna add a little bit on around my nose. So I'm gonna blend it out with a brush. And honestly, I feel like you could even blend this one out with like your finger. I honestly forget how beautiful that concealer is until I use it again. So for me, this type of base is perfect. It's not super high coverage, but you know, it looks nice and evened out, and that's typically what I look for. You can either go in with your cream products now if that's all you want to use and you don't want to set the face. These are the ones that I would recommend. I have the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I have it in the shade Honey Drip. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of this one. I feel like it's also very easy to use. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit. And then for highlight, if you wanna do like a cream type of highlight and not use any powder, I would recommend the Flower Day Glow Highlighting Glaze in Stunner. It's very wet but natural looking, and it gives the skin like a super pretty, you know, glow from within. I love using this on days that I don't want to wear powder, and this is like a super easy type of highlight. So if you do these two, you get like a really pretty natural look. For today, I'm gonna go ahead and set the face first, and I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Setting Powder. I have it in the shade Light. I really like this powder for setting my face because I feel like it sets it without it looking very dry. It doesn't look cakey on the skin, but it sets the face very nicely. It does come with a sifter, and I do have dry skin, but I find that, you know, if you have the right powders to set your skin, then that shouldn't be a problem. You shouldn't look drier. And also I have a thing with like texture where, you know, if my foundation is too sticky, kind of grosses me out. So I usually will set my face regardless. And I'm just gonna lightly go under my eyes with it. And see how the powder just kind of toned down the glowiness, but it still looks healthy. It doesn't look heavy and cakey on the skin. And then for a starter bronzer, I would recommend the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in whatever shade works for you. I have it in the Sun-Kissed shade. I don't like very warm tone. I feel like it just makes me look weird. So this is like the perfect undertone for me. e.l.f. has a really good putty bronzer. No, primer bronzer. Man, what is it called? I forgot. But I got rid of it because mine got old and the formula kind of changed. But today we're going to be using this one here. I like to use it with a more of a denser brush. So we're going to go ahead and add that too. So typically the way I like to prime my bronzer is I'll press it in first and then I'll blend it out. All right, so there we're looking nice and bronzy. I like it. So now let's go ahead and do the powder highlight because we didn't do the cream. And I have two different options here. We have the Essence Pure Nude Highlight in Be My Highlight. They have it in 2 different tones, I believe now, maybe 3. But this is gonna be a very natural type of highlight. It's gonna look very glowy without it looking metallic. And then we have the Catrice. I broke my nail and now I feel like I can't do anything with it. This is the More Than Glow highlighter in Supreme Rose Beam. And this one is very, very, very glowy. And Catrice you can now find on only Amazon or the Catrice site. But see how crazy of a highlight that is? You can diffuse it and make it look more natural, of course. With the Pure Nude, honestly, it's really hard to go overboard because it is going to be more of a natural kind of glow, but it still looks really pretty. See, this one's the Essence and that's going to be the Catrice. So you guys can see the difference right there. I think I'm gonna go in with the Catrice just because I haven't used it in a long time. And I'm just gonna lightly tap it and apply it to the high points. And I like to just kind of do like a C. So I'll go on my brow that doesn't have anything on it yet and then just kind of bring it down to my cheek, and I feel like it just looks more natural that way. And then for the chin, I usually like to do the sides, not the middle. Moving on to the brows. I think I'm gonna make a whole separate video of my top brow products because I have so many to recommend, and this can be a video on its own, so stay tuned for that. We have the e.l.f. brow pencil. I think it's called the Precise Pencil or something like that. This is gonna be more of a chubby brow pencil. So I would recommend this one for somebody that has a bit more defined brows, so you just want to fill them in, kind of like how mine. I have brows, but I just need to define them a little bit more. I would recommend a product like this. And then I have 2 more that are more micro kind of pencils. This is the LA Girl, I think it's called like the Slim Shady? That sounds weird. Brow pencil. I think I use mine in brunette, but this is going to be also a smaller kind of brow pencil. Amazing, works great, no problem at all, and I would recommend this one as well. Apologies. Oh my gosh, you scared me. And then the one I'm going to use today is the Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim Brow Pencil in dark brown. None of them are like super creamy, but they're not like super dry either. So typically what I'll do is I just add some strokes on the bottom part, kind of like lining up my brow, and then I'll go in the front and then I'll go sideways. And then I'm just gonna go in with the spoolie, which is a really nice spoolie. And there we have it. Do you guys see the difference on the brows? So now for the brow gel, I would recommend two different ones, and they're very different products for the same purpose. One of them is going to be the e.l.f. Wow Brow. That is a very small little tube, and it has a very small little tip, and that one's going to be very perfect just for adding a little bit of color to your brows, and it defines them a little bit. It doesn't have a lot of hold. If you're looking for extreme hold and a lot more pigment, the one I would recommend is the NYX Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara. There is one thing with this one, is that it does have a little bit more of a learning curve, I guess you can say. Not too much, but you have to be a little bit careful when you start using this because it is very pigmented. Once you get the hang of it though, this is really good just on its own. Like, you don't even need to use a brow pencil, especially if you have eyebrows that are similar to mine that are a little bit more defined. This is my favorite, it's my sister's favorite. We both really like it. We have very different brows, and like I said, I feel like this is a really good product for using alone, or you can use it how I'm going to use it today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wipe off some of the tint that's on the brow gel. I wish I had this one in clear. And then I'm going to start kind of like in the middle, and then just start brushing them up. You guys will see the difference on the brows. See how one looks more feathery than the other one? That's what I like this brow gel for. Alright, so now talking about some mascaras. There are a ton of drugstore mascaras that are really good. My two favorites would be these two here. We have the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity Mascara. And this is going to be a mascara that gives you volume, length, and basically anything you need. Now, the only downside to this one is the wand, because it is going to be more of a plastic wand. So you risk the chance of poking your eye, which I have done and I don't love. But if you can just be patient and careful, you can get very good volume out of that one. And then my all-time favorite that I've loved for years now, it's the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. This is a beautiful mascara. It's gonna give you volume. It does make your lashes look like if you were to put on false lashes. They have like a pink one, a purple one, a few other ones, but this is my favorite, the green one. And this is a new tube. I just opened it the other day. See, that's just one coat. You can stop there and look natural. Going in with the second coat. So there we have it. It's like 2.5 coats, I would call it. But see how pretty that makes my lashes look. I feel like they just look very wispy, very almost like if I was wearing false lashes. I feel like that's the perfect name. If I was starting out, the last thing I want to worry about is lipstick. Lipstick, I feel like, can be very finicky, very annoying. You get sometimes like the whiteness around your lips. It starts to fade off if you don't do it perfect. It looks crooked, and it's just not something that I like to deal with. But I do like to add a little bit of pigment to my lips. I always have. And the ones that I would recommend for that would be these two right here. Now these are the the Colourpop Glowing Lip and the e.l.f. Sheer Slick, what are they called? The Sheer Slick Lip or something like that. Now I have two here, two different shades here to show you, but I think I have more in my purse or something. I don't know. The thing I like about these is that they're gonna give you pigment and glow to your lips, which it's kind of like a combination between lip balm, lip gloss, lipstick, all together into one, and it's a very easy product to use. Now if you're looking for something that is not going to be very glowy but it still gives you some pigment and it's easy to use, the one that I would recommend is this Milani Ludicrous Matte Lip Crayon, and I have mine in the shade So Obsessed. And this one's a really pretty, very nude, deep kind of tone. It is more of a chubby type of lipstick, so it's like kind of like a lip liner lipstick kind of, you know, combination, and I really like it. I feel like it stays on the lip really nice. It's not going to give you a lot of glow. It is matte completely, but it does stay on the lip very nice, and it's very comfortable. If you really want to do lip liners, which I like to do from time to time, I'll do my lip liner, nothing else sometimes. I would recommend these ones here. The first one is the NYX lip pencil in Natural. I'm sure you guys have heard like 1,000 people talking about this one. Natural nude kind of shade. This one right here. And it is a regular pencil, so you have to sharpen it, which is not my favorite. It's like a wood pencil, but it works really well. It stays on the lips very nicely. One of my favorite lip liners is the Milani Easy Liner Retractable Pencil in Most Natural. I love the shade. This is the second one that I go through, or this is the second one that I own, because I went through a whole different one. Oop, I swatched it kind of weird. So this is the shade right here. Also going to be a very pretty nude type of shade. As you guys can see, I'm very into like nudie shades. And then these ones are going to be the Sephora brand, and they're called the Rouge Gel Lip Liner, and these are not going to be matte, so they're going to give you a little bit of hydration to your lip, very creamy, but they stay on the lip really nice. They have like 80 different shades. I have them in It's Cherry, Dress to the 90s, and Nothing But Nude. And like I said, I like wearing these on their own, or you know, paired with like a lip gloss. I think for today I'm going to do a mixture of a lip liner and one of those glowy ones. So I'm going to use the Milani Easy Liner. And typically what I'll do is I'll just kind of go around it and then just kind of smear it out with my finger. Alright, so there's the lip liner. Very easy, very fast. I'm going to use the Let's Jet lip product. I feel like it's not going to really match very well, but it doesn't matter. And you can either like swipe them on, but they're very pigmented. Like, let me show you this one. See how they're pretty pigmented? So you can either swipe them on, or you can kind of dab them. I feel like it's a little bit warm tone, but it's okay. All right, so there we have it. This is the finished face. See how it looks very healthy. It was very simple to achieve. Of course, you can cut corners and not use every single product that I use, but these are all very easy to use products, perfect for a starter kit. And I just wanted to make this video kind of like a reference point for anybody that's either wants to gift a starter kit for someone that's starting on makeup, or if you yourself are starting makeup and you don't know where to start. So let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about this video, if you guys end up using any of these, or if you guys have used them and you guys agree, or if you guys recommend any products that you guys think would be good for a starter kit as well. Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. But that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, I would appreciate if you would do so, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.